There's great sports nicknames, sport franchises, New York Yankees, Boston Celtics, Manchester United. But this guy is in the Hockey Hall of Fame for numerous reasons, a great player, great coach. But I think he's in there for one reason. To me, the glorious ones are the greatest franchise of all time, greatest sports team of all time, greatest organization, greatest success. If you take up the Toronto Maple Leafs, you're full of shit. But you take up the Montreal Canadiens, boys, you're carrying that torch going back now well over 100 years. So today we're going to talk about a Hockey Hall of Fame member, Jimmy Gardner, who suggested the team name for the Montreal Canadiens and became a player and coach with the squad. Now, died at a young age of 59 in 1940. The native of Montreal, Quebec, was a Canadian ice hockey player and coach who started his career as a professional, was just starting in ice hockey. He won titles with both amateur and pro teams. After his hockey career ended, he coached professionally, most notably with the Montreal Canadiens of the NHA. Gardner helped found the NHA, the predecessor of today's National Hockey League, and the Canadiens, including, again, suggesting the team name. His playing career began with the Montreal Hockey Club amateur men's squad of the Canadian Amateur Hockey League in 1900, where he played until 1903, winning the Stanley Cup twice in 1902 and 1903 as one of the so-called Little Men of Iron. In 2003, the players on the Montreal Hockey Club left to form the new Montreal Wanderers of the Federal Amateur Hockey League, or FHL. After one season with the Wanderers, Gardner then turned pro, playing 2 years for U.S. teams, the Calumet Miners and the Pittsburgh Professionals, before returning to Canada and the Montreal Shamrocks. He would return to the Wanderers in 1908 and play for the club in 1911, winning the Cup in 08 and 1910. He joined the new PCHA and played for the New Westminster for 2 seasons before returning to Montreal to play for the Habs for 2 seasons before retiring as a player. Gardner then coached the Habs for 2 seasons and later years coached the Hamilton Tigers, Provincetown Reds, and teams in the Western Canada Hockey League and Quebec Hockey League. Gardner, again, is credited with helping to found the Canadiens in 1909, including its name. As an official of the Wanderers, he met with Ambrose O'Brien during the hockey meetings of December 2009, when the Wanderers and O'Brien teams were left out of a new professional league. Gardner and O'Brien worked on the idea of the new National Hockey Association and the idea of a new francophone team for Montreal to be named Les Canadiens, and the rest, of course, is history. The club would be a natural rival for the Anglophone Wanderers. Now, O'Brien, whose family controlled railway and mining businesses, underwrote both the new league and the Habs franchise. A month later, the rival league folded and O'Brien's teams absorbed some of the rival team's players. O'Brien would sell the Canadiens 1 year later to George Kennedy, who owned the Club Athletic Canadien. Now, Gardner died in Montreal on November 6, 1940, after a lengthy illness. He is inducted posthumously in the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1963. So he played with several versions of the Montreal AAA squad, then the Montreal Wanderers, and again, of course, with Montreal AAA 1 and 2 and 02 and 03. Played in the Wanderers, made it all the way to the Stanley Cup. Calumet for 2 seasons, 1 season with Pittsburgh, won the Stanley Cup with the Montreal Shamrocks in 08, won a title with the Wanderers in 1910, and finished off his career in 14 and 15 with the Habs. So, CAHL totals, 4 goals in 12 games. IHL totals, 29 goals in 62 games. NHA totals, 25 goals in 45 games. PCHA totals, 11 goals in 28 games. And, of course, 2 goals in 9 Stanley Cup play games. Mostly a left wing, although he would vary at times. His coaching career, again, coached with the Montreal Wanderers in 1910-11, New Westminster Royals for 2 seasons, 12 and 13, with the Habs in 14-15, and with the Hamilton Tigers in 25. He did lose in the league playoffs against Toronto in 1914. So, ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Gardner, my God, what a legendary career. But you got to understand this. It's 114 years later, and the CH is gold. You see the logo, you worldwide recognize people in Russia, Czechoslovakia, Eastern Europe, South America. So many great players have played with the Habs. And if you're a Montreal Canadiens fan, it comes down to this. What are we going to name ourselves? 114 years, ladies and gentlemen. And we are the greatest of all time. Thanks for listening. Bye.